So we talked a little bit about website's purpose and how we should structure the website towards that purpose. I would quickly like to show you our website. Probably at the time you are watching this video, our website is updated because we are working on an updated version. But I just would like to show you another perspective of how we structured of the website according to that purpose. And that will also be our intro to CRO, conversion rate optimization section. So when we think about, again, headlines, we talked, the main purpose of the headline is promoting the subheadline. And then we have two different actions on the site. One is install now. They hopefully install our software directly, or they just want to learn more about us. And when we do that, here we kind of explain who is our product for and what they can do with that, with which types of integrations that they can create. And then here we target different audiences. These are different problems that we solve, but we created separate landing pages. Landing page, please note this name somewhere if you are hearing this first time. It's called landing page. We create different landing pages for different audiences because this person in our audience who has data tracking problem right now, I want to tell him different things compared to the other person who doesn't have any tracking problem, but they just want to have more reports. These two people are different people from our target audience. And the same for the museums mostly when I check the websites. For example, when we go into museum website, I have the shop, I have the program, I have the visit, or sometimes when it's the festival targets people, festival targets composers' submissions or the movie director's submissions, and then festival also wants to show the program to the movie audience, people who will come to watch the movies, and the festival also has the industry program. They all need different pages on the site so that we can talk to these audiences separately. We can tell them separate things. And when we do that, let's just review this wonderfully done website from Australia, I think. I just found them. So it's a museum, I guess. And it is very much like we discussed earlier. I clearly understand what they do. And I clearly know probably the most important information in the very center, which is great because maybe I'm about to go to there. And if I didn't see it and if I just went, then I would have had a bad experience. So they know why people visit the site, which is really good. And then they put it in the center. And then they explain what they are. Again, important information. Again, they put the calendar, really nice. Donation, donate now. That's really good. Exhibitions, view all. As you can see, the website is just leading you through the journey. So they want you to do some certain things and then they structure the site that way. When we think of the conversion rate optimization, we always need to consider our actions, the conversions that we want to happen on our website, what type of conversions we have, because this will change from business to business, right? If you are a museum with a shop, then you will also expect people to buy some merchandise from the website, if the shop has the website, obviously. Or if you are a festival, you want people attend to the festival, so to buy the tickets. If you have email list in all of them, then you want people to leave their emails to you when they come to your website. Or maybe you have videos, lots of videos, video galleries to explain how your festival or museum is different than the others. Then you have content like the videos, which was in one of those websites that we just checked. Then you want people to watch that content and to get convinced with your offer, hopefully. So this is we call conversions. Conversion, like somebody is converting. Somebody is converting from a visitor to an ideally a client, or maybe an engaged visitor in between. Maybe somebody just converts from visitor to an email subscriber. But next year, maybe that email subscriber person will convert from the email subscriber to client or ticket holder or industry speaker or whatever you might call. You need to define these first, like what are our conversions? And then we have two types of conversions. One is macro and the other is micro. So macro is obviously the end goal in most cases, that somebody bought the ticket, somebody bought the program, somebody booked the ticket, and the other micro ones are usually the steps in between, like somebody subscribe to the newsletter or download the PDF or that type of things. And let's say we have an events page, then the event registrations would also be some conversion action. And here where things are getting a little bit confusing, maybe if we are using a third-party ticketing platform, which is the case in most of cultural enterprises, then you can count click to that platform's link as a micro conversion too, because that's something which you can track on your own website. We will revisit this in the tracking section of things, but even that's a step to the conversion. Somebody wanted to buy the ticket, clicked buy now link. Or let's say you offer services, you are a freelancer, then maybe you might have a services page or a portfolio page, and then you might have download PDF, download brochure, that kind of things, and those would also be conversions. Now I'm counting like a couple of conversion examples, right? This is what we call conversions. Then we have call to actions. Call to actions are when we tell people to do what we want them to do. Download now, sign up now, buy now, view gallery, view prices, add to cart, remove from cart, join Amazon Prime. On the internet, you will see all around call to actions. And in many cases, let's just go back to this. As you see here, the call to action is not so clear. I mean, I don't speak German. Oh, okay, I can go to English. It's just more. For example, this is not a good call to action. This shouldn't say more. This should say, view the event, view the exhibition, that kind of things. Then they would get more clicks when we use the verb. And then, when I continue, look, I no longer have a call to action. Maybe this is not something that they sell anymore. I don't know. No, it is on probably. So then I would expect to have some button here, something like book now, download the brochure. We shouldn't leave people without the action. Then they don't know what to do and they leave the site. That's what happens, unfortunately. So we need to kind of prevent that happening. And then we should consider this as a funnel, as a conversion funnel. Usually, this is one of the frameworks that we often use. It's called AIDA framework, awareness, interest, desire, and action. But this also reflects a funnel that is our website visitors. So when we calculate a purchase funnel, how many people comes to your homepage, how many people goes to your single event page, how many people clicks book now, and how many people actually buys the ticket. So this moves people from this potential segment, from awareness stage to interest, and then to desire. Oh, I'm really interested in this event. I think I will go this week. Let me ask my friends. So now I'm more down to the funnel. But the problem with the funnels is, as you can see, that it's wide open because we lose a lot of people in every step. That's the nature of this. It's normal. People are distracted, right? They will take their time to decide. They will compare. They will speak with friends. They will forget. They will want but not be able to take that action. We do like that way, right? It's not, you don't go to every exhibition that you really want to go. Most of them just stays because of X, Y, Z. The idea of conversion rate optimization, the idea of funnel optimization is usually trying to think of these steps and then having website help to all stages. For example, if I accept that 90% of my website visitors will not buy the ticket, we know it, right? Will not, otherwise we would all be sold out. The average conversion rate is approximately 3 to 5% if we are lucky. So we will come into that too. Then maybe our website can also help people at the first and the second step of the funnel that they will maybe come next year. But at least let's get their email address. Or at least let's make them watch a video about us. So this is how we think about the conversion rate optimization, that we will lose a lot of people, but we are helping, we are trying to make each step better. For example, this is an e-commerce funnel. This is different than cultural funnel, obviously, but it might be similar in some cases. in which you sell tickets directly on your website, because many people will browse the products. Only 67% of the website visitors will actually browse the products. The rest will just leave the site, whichever page that they come into. And then only 43% will view a product in detail. In your case, let's say an event. Oh, okay, this event looks interesting. Less than 1 out of 2 people. And then only 15%, even less than 15% of them will actually add it to the cart. Okay, I really want to buy this. But then only 3% of that will buy. So you see, we lost, if we started with 100 people, we lost 11 people only in that last step. That means as we reduce the steps and as we help in each step, then we will lose less in each step. This is what all conversion rate optimization is about. So we kind of check when we think about an action plan, we kind of define our goals for our website. Okay, buying the tickets, event registrations, film submissions, and maybe phone calls if we have phones. Then we define our micro conversions. Micro conversions are newsletter subscriptions, number of video watched, people visiting this side of the page, signing for being volunteer, could be many other things, right? And then we communicate this in the website. We clearly write the call to actions, sign up for our newsletter, buy our ticket, and we optimize our website. We make something like, okay, maybe not as good as this, but as you can see, call to actions still continue. Call to actions still continue. This should never ever finish. Call to actions still continue. So keep this in mind and restructure your website accordingly. Once you do that, which means your website is speaking to the users and to the different types of users correctly. And then you can consider tracking, like getting the data and comparing the numbers, which buttons are clicked more, which tickets are purchased more, which videos are watched more. That's the next step, which we will talk in the next lesson. But the reason I mention about it now is data will not mean anything if your website is already not doing what it needs to be doing. So you still don't wait for the data to make decision if your website doesn't have these very strict elements, right? The headline, sub-headline, buttons, call to actions. So you need to think about these things first. That's why this is one of the first lessons that we talk about. And then the data comes, the optimization, SEO, ads. But before, what this website is doing, it is doing X, Y, Z. Is it good for us? Or do we want it to do more things? Yes, we can. Then let's position them, let's communicate, let's make it easy for the users. Let's eliminate some steps in between. So let's make the website easy. When we give the website to someone, they can easily do what they need to be doing, right? So, and it's easy to test this and also test it in mobile phone, because we watch the websites on desktop always, but in many businesses, mobile users are way more than desktop users. So you simply change your website, give it to your friends on the mobile device, say that, okay, this is our new program, check it out. Just watch them if they can check it out. There are tools for this, analytics tools, which we will talk soon. But before this analytics tools, you need to get this mindset up and running. You need to change your website. You need to make it. I'm not saying make a new website. Don't get me wrong. That's a hard job to do. But I'm saying optimize your website. This thing in mind. Okay, I hope it was clear. We will have more examples later on this topic. But for now, see you in the next video.